Most people don't like change, but sometimes, let's say you're a smoker, your doctor tells you stop smoking or you're dead, you'll never see your grandkids again. You'll be forced to stop, and then you'll find, believe it or not, sometimes even when you're forced to change in life, despite your rigidity, you benefit. That's why you should always surround yourself with smart people who make suggestions sometimes you're uncomfortable with. Baseball's never liked changing. They were forced to. TV ratings gone into the tank, attendance dipping. So they made 2 rule changes. We already see a benefit in one day. 10 of the 15 baseball games finished in under 3 hours. Rays Tigers, 2 hours, 15 minutes. Many, 2.5 hours. You can't sit for 3.5 hours when you have 6 games a week. It's different in football. Football's once a week. It's tailgating. You give half a day to football. We always have. I've never gone to a football game and not tailgated. Ever. I've tailgated at every football game. But baseball is 162 games. Many of the games are Sunday night, Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night, and people with jobs and families and kids can't be sitting in a stadium and 45-minute to an hour drive home. They can't do it. So pitching clock works. It speeds the game up by 20 to 25 minutes. Listen, it's a new rule. Football's got 6 new ones, 8 new ones every year. You adapt. Also, the defensive shift. They got rid of it. We've said this for years. You want more base runners. You want more stolen bases. You want more, action. It's why we watch sports. Drama and action. The more you have, the better ratings you get. Cricket is the national pastime in Europe. Soccer's more watched. Why? There's more action. Yesterday, there were more stolen bases than home runs. When's the last time that happened? The Yankee game, by the way, was 40 minutes faster. 40 minutes faster than the average Yankee game last year. You do get, it takes for most fans an hour to get to the game and an hour to get home. You can't have a 3.5 hour game, 4.5 with travel, maybe 5. People have lives. The game's on Tuesday, Wednesday. It's different in the NFL. Even the NBA, games last 2 hours, 25 minutes. They get it. I used to cover an NBA team in Portland. I didn't want to sit around for 3-4 hours, even on an off night. Get in, go to dinner, see the game, go home, have a glass of wine. I don't want to be driving home at 11:45 or 12 at night. So 21 steals yesterday, 21 stolen bases, activity, moving, action. Last year, 5 stolen bases on opening day. 4 times as many, and the success rate exploded, meaning more movement, more bases, more runs. We saw it in one day. Jim Crane, owner of the Astros, they got a lot of good players. They fill their stadium usually. Said, I think the game got way too long. Most people can't sit in the stands 3.5 hours. They pay the bills, listen to the fans. There's going to be 5% of fans who push back. Yes, they're retired and have nothing to do in their lives, and they don't like their wife anyway. Get me to the ballpark. There's young people that don't have a job or a family. They could sit and drink beers all day. But 75% of baseball fans have things to do, jobs, families, responsibilities. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday night. They can't be sitting there for 4 hours with a 45-minute drive home. It took Major League Baseball a day. They didn't want to change. The sport never wants to change. They were forced to change because of TV ratings, a lack of water cooler discussion. We barely ever talk baseball in this show, and we have a big audience. First Take doesn't talk it. Undisputed doesn't talk it. Nobody talks baseball. Because increasingly, I see the numbers. People aren't watching it. You got to be watched to be discussed. I thought yesterday was a home run. I turned on 2 different games at 2 different times. The games flew by. They flew by. Again, if you had 15, 16, 17 games, college football can be long. We tailgate. We get it. You wake up on a Saturday morning. Buckeyes. You know what you're going to do. It's going to be a Buckeye Saturday. You can't be asking fans to do that on a Monday night, a Tuesday night, a Wednesday night, a Thursday night. Kids, family, jobs, responsibilities. So, home run, Jim Crane, owner of the Houston Astros, gets it. The fans, attendance, TV ratings told you. Tweak it. Tweak it. You already saw the benefits. J-Mac with the news.
No.
Turn on the news. This is the Herdline News.
I hope people were listening closely to that. It applies to more than Odell and the NFL, and
yeah,
listen closely. Listening closely when Cowherd's dropping some pearls of wisdom. Let's go to more drama, Colin. Lamar Jackson. He's been the second most drama-filled player this offseason, second to Aaron Rodgers, of course. Nobody seems to be willing to give Lamar what he values himself as on the market. Now, multiple reports say he could potentially refuse the Ravens franchise tag and sit out the entire season if no team meets his contract demands. Now, according to Mike Florio, Pro Football Talk, July 17th is a key date. Before July 17th, Lamar can sign a multi-year deal. After that, he can just sign a one-year deal. Currently, he's slated to make $32 million, which is way below his market value.
Yeah.
Florio also speculates the Ravens can offer him a $1 million per game bonus on top of the $32 million. So if he plays all 17 games,
$49 million.
$49 million, which is good. But you've got to be healthy and play those games.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like we have a bit of a stalemate. Like Baltimore, here's the number we think you're worth. Lamar totally disagrees. And now it's up to the market. I know everybody's taking sides on this. But folks, your value is determined whether you're a sports writer, a lawyer, a quarterback, a landscaper. Your value is determined when you're on the market. You can whine about collusion. Nobody wants to hire me in any business. He's on the market. There's not a lot of takers. So the Ravens roll the dice. I'm not rooting for either side. I want to watch him play. I'd re-sign him. He's on the market. There's not much of one. Why? He's gotten incredibly unorthodox and noisy, kind of Kawhi Leonard-ish, weird kind of, no official agent. And there's a health issue. And so I'm saying right now, 90% of the NBA, they all know Kawhi Leonard's great, would not be interested. It's too unorthodox. He shows up at 4 o'clock. I can't play. He's hard to be a teammate. It's hard to build around, right? Greg Popovich moved off him and he was a star. So what am I saying? Lamar has turned off a lot of the market with injuries. Not all his fault, but his reality. And he's gotten very unorthodox.
Okay, so let's say you're Chris Ballard in the Colts.
Yeah.
And you are like, you know what? Let's just see what's up with Lamar. Who are you negotiating with? You're not negotiating with his mom. So are you essentially calling Lamar Jackson and saying, hey, man, what's the latest? How are you feeling? What do you want? And now Lamar Jackson, a quarterback, is going to negotiate his contract? Does he know all the intricacies of how? This is just not good.
Yeah, this is, by the way, even the Lamar Jackson fanatics that I've talked to in the media, even they're acknowledging, they may not say it on their shows, they're acknowledging you got to get an agent. It's different if you're a rookie linebacker and it's slotted. When you're a franchise quarterback and hundreds of millions at stake, you do not want to do your own contract. It's just different.
So let's just say somebody was interested in my services. Hey, Jason, we want you to come speak 3 Saturdays from now, and we'll pay you this. I'd be like, great, talk to my agent. He's going to handle everything, the transportation, what to set up there, everything. I don't have to worry about a damn thing. They just tell me, hey, here's what's happening.
Yeah.
Do you think I would want to negotiate something like that? And sit there on the phone, and I don't know what entails a speaking thing.
You can also, as a pro athlete, get representation. You can get burned. It's not good for your mentals when your organization's telling you you're not worth something. It's good for your mental health. It's good to not get burned. There's a lot of landmines out there for a young person. There's a lot of fakes and frauds and phonies that want to represent you. Get a league-sanctioned agent. Let him take care of you and your family. You got to pay him a percentage. Yeah. Listen, we're all paying a lot in taxes anyway.
How's this? If you're an agent, would you say, Lamar, I know you're having issues with the 6% or whatever. Yeah. I'll negotiate your deal for half that, 3%. Can we do it? Do you think Lamar would be like, all right, fine, let's go? Or at this point, is he pot committed to doing it himself?
Well, I don't know the answer to that, but I from the very beginning, I've been steadfast on this. I've had to negotiate deals, not Lamar deals, but deals. You don't want to be upstairs with lawyers and management.
It's just a waste of time.
It's bad upstairs for you. It's bad for the wallet. I'd always rather give a little money away, so I can just worry about content. Lamar, worry about football. Don't get caught up in all this stuff because you're ended up going in and out of Instagram and Twitter. And that, by the way, is shrinking your market. People don't want a noisy franchise quarterback.
Rooting for him, but alas. Next story. Now, this is the big one that you were upset at the outset of the show. Everybody's seen this last year. The Eagles were cash money on these sneak attempts for first downs or touchdowns. 37 of 41, Colin.
Gross.
37 of 41 in those little short yardage plays. Now, you've been hot that they got to change this. They got to take it out.
Got to change it.
It's too easy. Reports indicate today that it is not happening. Now, I was able to find a quote from Rich McKay, the competition committee chair, who said, nobody made a rules proposal, nor was there enough support on the committee for us to propose a rule change. So it will stay in. Now, Colin, one of the big arguments is we don't know when there's guys coming in the backfield if they're going to block or push. So it's tough for us to maybe institute a rule. So they just put their hands up and said, we're letting it slide.
Very discouraging.
Are you upset at this?
Well, I think it's ugly and boring and automatic. And I think football's at its best. Your argument is it turns third downs into first downs.
Heck yeah.
Great argument. But an aesthetic matters in this sport. That is Australian rules football.
Yeah.
That's rugby. That doesn't look anything like our game.
You're not leaving the screen when you see this formation. You're like, damn it, they're going to get it. Can they stop them? You're watching. When they go into punt formation, what are you doing? All right, let me go to the bathroom. Let me get a drink. Because punt's probably going out of bounds. Not a lot of, how many punt returns for touchdowns last year? I feel like that number's shrinking.
Oh, it feels like
the punts are boring. I like this, Colin. And I'll be frank, if I'm a team, I'm installing this in the offseason.
Yeah,
you have to. You're not doing your job as a head coach.
That's my concern, is that you want to put up laws like on our freeways or on our roads. You want to have signs and warnings before there's a death, right? So a good league, baseball was so, rigid, it took them forever. They had massive attendance and ratings decline for 15 or 10 years before they made a change. Football tends to be the great tweak sport. They're constantly tweaking. That's why their ratings always keep going up and up and up. So you have to be able to, the term is, it's overused. Can you see around corners? The best business people, they can see a problem before it happens. Any idiot can go, oh yeah, we have 12 car deaths on this corner. Anyway, we got to put up a sign. The smart people, city managers, are like, yeah, this is going to be a disaster. Let's get signage up before, as we create the crosswalk or so this is a classic example of, right now it's fine. When 29 teams are using this 9 to 10 times a game, you're going to be like, okay, this is gross. This is boring.
9 to 10 times is a bit much.
Well,
but
the Eagles use it 5 to 6 a game.
They do,
and they're not going to. So,
and I'll tell you this: if it's third and short, and I'm a Jets fan,
the whole
third
league.
And short, can we run the play that is like 90% effectiveness? Can we not do that and get the first down? If you got to bring in a situational quarterback, I don't know. This could make Cam Newton like a little more valuable. He's so big at the line of scrimmage, leaning forward.
So what we're doing this for is to get Cam Newton more productive. I think what we want to do is get Patrick Mahomes safer. I don't want people piling on my star quarterback. Somebody's going to get hurt.
Mahomes is not doing 600-pound squats like Jalen Hurts. The fragile quarterbacks, I don't think are going in there.
Listen, Jalen Hurts, you're going to find, gets first downs regardless of what the rules are. The great quarterbacks figure it out. Do you know what an advantage this could be for like a Josh Allen if they employed it? Because they don't have a consistent run game, and all of a sudden Buffalo 3rd and 1 just does it over and over and over. All right. Listen, I lost on this one. It's a sad day in America.
Oh, please, come on. All right, final story. Kevin Durant. He's on his 4th team after the trade to the Suns. Earlier in his career, Durant was concerned with how he was perceived by the public and his legacy and all that fun stuff. Now, here's what Kevin Durant, he's changed his mind. I don't care about legacy. I used to want to carve out a lane or space in this game for myself that people can remember. But it's become too much of a thing now. It just becomes too much of a focus on other people. What's he done? Comparisons before, when he wasn't doing all that debating. I cared about it. I'm about to be in the same breath as these top guys. It was big. Nowadays, I truly, truly don't care.
Well, what a therapist tell kids: get out of the comparison business. It's a very unhealthy space to compare yourself. And I think Kevin Durant sounds like somebody who's gotten some good therapy and decided, I don't want to compare. Listen, I was talking to a friend of mine, Jason Timpf, who works at The Volume. Last night we did a podcast and we talked about this. I said, everybody does care about their legacy. I mean, he does care some. He's pushing back. But I will say this. I've said before, in the history of the NBA, if you took out centers, I think Kevin Durant is the only player that would beat LeBron and Michael Jordan in one-on-one. I honestly believe that. And I think his legacy can get a little better by winning in Phoenix, but it's been cemented, and there's no reason to compare himself. He is one of the great shot makers in league history, period.
Yeah.
He's one of, I would say this, I don't even know what to do with centers, but he's one of the 12 best basketball players I've ever seen in my life.
12.
And again, I don't even know what to do with centers.
Is Curry in there?
Yes.
Okay.
Kobe's in there, Michael's in there, Bird's in there, Magic's in there. I kind of feel like there's a genetic advantage being 7'2". Like, what do I do with Shaq? He wasn't as skilled as other people. But I'm talking about, if you're just telling me 12 basketball players, the best 12 basketball players I've ever seen in my life, you know what he is? He's a better version of Dirk Nowitzki, who's a top 20 player I've ever seen. And he's a more skilled version of Dirk Nowitzki. And that's a good... By the way, MJ was a more talented version of Kobe. Think how great Kobe was. Think how great Nowitzki was. He's a better version of it. So that to me, his legacy is cemented. To me, he's one of the dozen basketball players. I've told this story before. A friend of mine's Mark Few, coaches Gonzaga, coached some Olympic basketball teams. And one summer we're having a beer. I'm like, what's it like to coach? Who's great? Who's not? And he said, listen, they're all great players and all great guys. He goes, Durant among great players, every time down the court, can get a great shot. Not a good shot. Even among the world's best players, Kevin Durant can come down every single possession and get a great shot. And that's among the Olympic team, where everybody can get a shot. So I think his legacy is totally cemented. I think the Phoenix thing would be cool because it'd feel like it would be his.
So, I'm a Durant guy. I like him. We've had some exchanges on the DMs because he has the rabbit ears. But you're right. I think the quote is, comparison is the thief of joy. Basically, if you're comparing, you're taking away fun from somebody and happiness. I'll just say this, and I like Kevin Durant. Won the title with the Warriors. Had Russell Westbrook in OKC, did not win a title. Had Kyrie Irving and James Harden in Brooklyn, did not win a title. Now has Devin Booker and Chris Paul in Phoenix. Think there's any pressure on Kevin Durant to deliver? He only won in one place. That's it. I like him a lot, but I've been on some really stacked teams, KD.
He's got 2 rings and was the MVP of both.
Definitely.
I don't think his legacy, I think it's defined.
I don't think he could go down. I'm with you. He's a top 12 player in the history of the sport.
Yep. He's not going down, and he's not going to surpass LeBron, Michael, Magic. No. He's not going to. So he's really actually very cemented.
Okay. On your all-time list?
Yes, absolutely.
Who's higher? Kevin Durant or Steph Curry?
Curry literally changed the entire sport. Michael, LeBron, Magic.
And to win, KD had to go play with...
Oh, that's overrated.
I'm a Kevin Durant defender, but that's a fact, Colin.
Okay. The sport is more mobile. That's the culture. Michael Jordan's sport wasn't as...
I love the KD
Michael
move.
Jordan has one playoff, not series win. Michael Jordan won a single playoff game pre-Pippen.
Yeah.
Okay, he also had a GM, Jerry Krause, for all the folly about him, was very competent. So it's easy if you're Magic and you inherit the Lakers, Jerry Buss and Kareem, and get James Worthy. Some guys have to move because of the city, the geography, a bad coach, a bad owner.
Michael won nothing without the triangle offense. Nothing. LeBron, anywhere he goes, he wins a title.
That's right.
Anywhere.
Yeah.
He's better than Jordan.
I'm always going to defend mobility. He played with Westbrook.
I was for the KD move to Golden State. I get it.
Yeah.
I'd love to see him win somewhere else.
So, yeah, all right.